titled this video Red Pill versus Pickup just to kind of get more SEO. But really in this video what I want to talk about is like a based, grounded understanding of game and what like a true form of game really is, because it's so easy to get lost in like the pickup sphere, and now all of a sudden you're this like maybe you're following a lot of coaches where it's just very self-amusement based, very gregarious, goofy, fun. Like, it's all about the emotion. You gotta like be crazy, you gotta be like charismatic and all this stuff. And like, or from a red pill, or from a mystery perspective where it's like it's all about the tactics and like, are you employing like pre-selection, are you employing like teasing and value and negging and stuff like that to like evoke the right things at the right time, and versus like red pill, which is very, in my opinion, if you consume a lot of red pill content, it kind of like almost you naturally and energetically like start shunning yourself from those mindsets and from pickup in general, because you start to almost question whether or not like you should approach, or whether it's low value to approach. And red pill's all about like attracting and like holding your value and like being on your thing, and like that fits in and stuff. And from a grounded, holistic perspective, that stuff is all true to a point as well. They have a point, but I don't think it serves you to really go down that path fully. And from a grounded, holistic perspective, there's a middle ground. And that middle ground is essentially when you're going out and doing pickup or whatever, right? And cold approaching and creating options for yourself and meeting new people and starting new conversations. A very based, like holistic, grounded perspective to look at this from is I'm going out and starting conversations in a very grounded, valuable frame. I'm not over chasing. I'm not being too goofy. I'm being pretty normal. So one way you can literally look at in a very simple model of game from a pickup, even from a pickup perspective, is doing approaches but being normal during the initial approach, being very like normal energetically, and then being normal during the conversation, and being normal and natural going for the close. And this is how a lot of pickup coaches, I think, end up as well. It's like, wow, I can literally go up to talk to people, be confident, cool, outgoing, normal, natural, have a normal conversation with them, tease them a little bit, not normal from the perspective of like, I'm not gonna like do anything to like even suggest that I'm interested or like anything like that. No. Go up, be normal. Yeah, sure, you want to interject like little flirts in there, teases, fun, cool, especially if you're getting mogged by the environment, by everyone else, that where she's like naturally drawn to people that are like teasing her more and causing more fun, and it's more spicy and stuff. Then sure, you have to adapt to your environment a little bit, and you being a cool, grounded guy, like you might not win that battle, especially in like a high energy nightclub situation. But my point is, you can view game as I'm going up and making approaches, I'm starting conversations with new people, new potential options, and then I'm being normal. I'm literally having a normal conversation, cool, fun, flirty, chill. I'm not chasing too hard. If she runs away with her friends, I'm not going to go like chase them just so I can have my close rate be higher or whatever. And then the close and everything as well is very normal, natural, and just culturally accepted. Like, hey, we had a great conversation, like, let's exchange numbers, let's hang out, whether that's tonight if things are going well, or maybe another time set up a date. Like, it's very simple, guys. Talk to new people, be normal, and carry it forward, set plans, pool, set up a date, whatever, right? And so you're carrying pretty much all different types of concepts from different dating coaches, like from a red pill perspective of like holding value, having some stoicism, or displaying your accomplishments as far as like you put yourself together well. From red pill guys love looks, money, status. So you dress well, you look good. Maybe here and there it just happens to come out that you drive a cool car, or like you have a great job or something like that, right? That's a red pill side of things. And from like a more attraction, low investment side, you're not doing too much, you're not over pursuing, because I think where a lot of people think pickup is very chasey and stuff like that is if you over pursue. just you going up and making a confident approach or bumping shoulders and saying what's up and starting a conversation, that's not over pursuing. That's being a normal, confident, cool, outgoing guy, right? It becomes over pursuing when you're trying all these like little weird tactics and stuff that actually just come off as needy and chasey when she hasn't responded to 3 of your texts, or you're trying to pull same night when it's just not there, and now you're trying way too hard, and it's just she's just looking at her inbox and it's like all these texts, and it's like, yeah, cool, he's trying to like pull this lever or be funny or whatever, but it's just like needy at the end of the day, right? So ultimately, from a red pill versus pickup versus black pill versus all this stuff, literally, I think the best holistic, well-rounded approach to generating a lot of options in your dating life is simply being confident enough to start conversations with new people, be cool, being confident enough to escalate, tease, flirt, push things forward physically, sexually, and push things forward to getting next steps as far as a pool or a date, exchanging numbers, exchanging contact, holding your ground as well, leaving space for her to invest as well. Because I think where a lot of pickup guys go wrong is they're way too goofy, way too energetic, and they're needy, they're chasey. But if you're actually coming from that grounded, middle ground perspective, from the red pill over here to, and the attraction side of things, where you're never supposed to validate, and you're supposed to always pull back and let her invest and let her chase. But how's that worked out for you? Standing at the corner with the beer at your chest, like, yeah, sure, like, I'm sure you have a great aura, but like, did you pull that night? Like, how many numbers did you get? How many options and actual results did you get, right? So there has to be a middle ground where you're actually going out and generating results, but also at the same time you're not over pursuing and being way too goofy and stuff that just feels out of line with being normal, right? And so, and even in the past, if you've gone out and you've been on your top pickup game and you got 10 numbers, how many of those closed though? How many of those actually responded, right? And so it comes down to having a real, genuine connection, real conversation, where you had a real conversation, you could actually hear her, she could actually hear you, you could actually see her looking into your eyes and like being interested, right? And she seemed interested enough to where it was a good conversation. She actually could be down to go on a part two with you sometime, or continue that vibe over on the dance floor and start hanging out more, right? That being said, there is a phenomenon where things can be going well with a girl, but she then just won't text back. So I will say there is a numbers game aspect to it. There is a lot of variability to this stuff, guys. So you'll be surprised where like your good sets like don't end up turning into anything, but sometimes the mediocre or worse sets can actually be something. So that's where the pickup side of things and like going and getting after it and actually making a lot of approaches and like playing a numbers game, like the guy who does 10 approaches and like 2 of them go well or something, and like 1 of them pulls, like he pulled that night and you didn't, right? Whereas you, with like maybe even this middle ground approach, and like you're just kind of like feeling things out and you're trying to have natural approaches and stuff, and you only did two approaches that night, and like both of them were okay, and like they thought you were reasonable and cool, and they probably did, but you didn't pull that night, and maybe you got 1 number and it's like iffy, right? And so at the end of the day, I do think like most dudes need to go towards the pickup side of things, where it goes to making more approaches and really getting after it, right? Not chasing, but like starting to go in that direction a little bit. Yeah, sure, chase results, chase success, you know what I mean? And yeah, if you're a little bit needy, a little bit like dominating the pursuing dynamic in the relationship, if that's what it takes to get you getting going, then sure, beginners, by all means, do what you can. But ultimately, the end game is making this really normal, really natural, really smooth, and to the point where you're generating results every night, every weekend, having options constantly, right? And the only way to do that really is volume, and that's where pickup really comes in. Of course, keep the red pill stuff in mind. I do think it has value, but I really urge you not to get too deep into that. Like, really just like, most dudes I think have a base understanding already of like red pill stuff, where it's like, be cool, be nonchalant, like have value already. We get that. That's not helping anymore, because all that's doing is, oh, they should come up to me, I have this like job where I make 80K a year. It's like, No, you know, so you do have to go. You do have to show your value. You do have to display and be funny and be cool. But I think ultimately, from a base perspective, like, game is literally about meeting new people, being cool, and they're attracted to you, and then they actually want to hang out with you. And if that means getting 5 numbers a night that actually are all like genuine connections, that they went well that night and they actually do convert, versus getting 20 numbers a night where you're goofy and you're just like spamming like closes, you know, and spamming approaches, and it's like superficial and stuff, you're not going to get any results on that side of things. So there's a middle ground, right? So I guess the middle ground would be make a lot of approaches, but make them actually intentional and valuable, and don't stray too far outside of who you are authentically and your value. Hold your value this whole time, but don't be so, oh, I'm the best thing since sliced bread, to where you barely make anything happen that night. So there's a middle ground, and that's what I think it is. Let me know in the comments what you think. With that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next video.